Okay, so the Samsung Galaxy S23 series unveiling date is literally, right around the corner. I'm talking February 1st, which is about 2 weeks from now from the making of this video. And the really exciting thing about this unveiling event is that it's finally going to be in person in San Francisco. Like I said, February 1st, and it's been quite a while since Samsung has had an in-person event. So very excited for this one. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, because I will be doing covers that day on the new devices. But today we're gonna be talking about everything that we know about the Galaxy S23 Ultra, S23 Plus, and the regular S23. And I gotta give a huge thanks and shout out to Subcase for providing these dummy models that I have right here in front of me, the S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra. And these are going to give us a better look at, what these devices are going to look like and feel like in hand as well. So again, huge thanks to Subcase for providing these dummy models for us. No, they are not sponsoring this video, but if you do want to provide yourself with a case early to get them ready for your new device, I have a link down in the description below so you can check them out. And I will also have a link to be able to reserve your pre-order for any of these devices right here, because you don't want to miss out. Sometimes those orders, they get backed up. You end up having to wait even longer to receive your device. So you want to make sure you reserve your pre-order. You're not obligated to buy anything. It's just to reserve it in case you do, decide to buy yourself a device. So I'll have that link down in the description and in the comment section as well. But let's go ahead and get started talking about the big boy, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which is the device that I'm personally excited for, because this is going to have all the bells and whistles, when it comes to all three devices. Of course, the S23, S23 Plus are going to be great devices, but when it comes to the S23 Ultra, this is the one you want right here if you want all of the features. So let's start off with the looks of the device. It's no secret that yes, this phone pretty much looks like, not pretty much, but it does look like, the Galaxy S22 Ultra. They are looking the same. The cameras all in the same spots, the flash in the same spot. The one thing that I will say that I do notice here is that the lenses on the Galaxy S23 Ultra do look bigger, or wider, I should say. They don't really pop out any much more. So at least when it comes to this dummy model right here, it's not popping out more, but it does seem wider, bigger. So, and Samsung has been, in their little teasers, they have been kind of teasing that the cameras are going to be greatly improved with this Galaxy S23 Ultra. And there's some pretty cool features that are coming with the cameras on this device, which we will talk about in a little bit. But when it comes to overall size, both are pretty much looking about the same size. We still have that slight curve on the display, and it looks like Samsung is little by little trying to get rid of that curve. It almost looks like a flat display. The curve is like, it's just barely there now, but it is still there. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the curved displays. There are people that do. For me, I think it gives it a nice premium look. And the fact that it's just kind of right there, I think it looks real nice. It's almost a flat display. So looking really, really good. When it comes to the overall buttons, it looks like the buttons are going to be just a little bit lower this time, which gives you easier access for your thumb. You don't have to reach as high, and the same thing for the volume rockers as well. When it comes to the power button, your thumb is pretty much going to land right on it. The volume rockers, yeah, you will still have to reach up a little bit, but they are still a little bit lower. Down at the bottom, S Pen still on the right side of the device. On the bottom, you still got your speaker there and your charging port, everything in the exact same spot. Over to the left, you do have your SIM card tray. So yes, they are not taking it away. With the new Apple devices, everybody was scared that other companies were going to start copying them and getting rid of the SIM card tray. Me personally, I am not a fan of getting rid of it. I say keep it. I'm really glad Samsung stuck with keeping it on this device, so we don't have to worry about getting the eSIM on this device and having to transfer your number over that way. So very cool, Samsung, that they are keeping that SIM card tray. Going to the top, we still have the microphone up there, and yeah, overall still looking like the Galaxy S22 Ultra. If I were to hold both in hand, once I get the real one in hand, you probably won't even be able to notice which one is which unless you take a really close look. Now, for a lot of people, just the looks alone might make it seem like it's not going to be worth the upgrade. But for me, I say, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Because me personally, I really like the overall design of the S22 Ultra. So, if they just made little tweaks here and there to make it even better, then I'm totally fine with that. Now, of course, yes, it would have been nice to have something like truly groundbreaking, but what are you gonna do? But the real upgrades is when we get into the device itself. So let's go ahead and go over some of the specs here. So when it comes to some of the leaked specs for the Galaxy S23 Ultra, when it comes to this huge display in the front, it's going to be a 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 120 Hz display. So we're still going to get that super smooth experience when scrolling through the device. It's going to be running a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor with Android 13 and Samsung One UI 5.1. It's going to have 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM, depending on what model you get, with 256 gigabytes of storage, 512 gigabytes, or 1 terabyte of storage. So that's a lot of storage right there. For me personally, 512 would probably be enough. Heck, I could probably get away with 256. But in this leaked spec sheet, it's not in English, and it's in a different language, I believe French, but it says something about a micro SD card slot. I got excited. I know there was other people that got excited because, we can't understand that language. We can't read it. And it's having us think that, hey, a micro SD card slot is coming back with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. But no, that is not the case. Once I did translate it, it says no micro SD card slot. It's like, okay, well, why even put that on the spec sheet at all? So no, this is not coming with an SD card slot. I really wish it was. I wish they would bring that back. Who knows, maybe in the future, maybe on another device. But this is also going to have a 5,000 milliamp battery. It's going to be IP68 water resistant. It's going to have that same in-display fingerprint sensor. I'm sure they are going to have it more improved than what we have on the S22 Ultra, which it already works really, really good, really fast. But every year, everything improves. So I'm pretty sure they're going to improve that as well. Now, when it comes to the cameras in the back, we do have 4 cameras in the back. We have a 200 megapixel main lens this time. So that is going to give us a lot of detail in the photos. I'm honestly really excited for that because I'm huge when it comes to taking photos and video with my device. For those of you who have been part of the channel for a while, y'all already know this. So cameras are a huge deal to me. So we're gonna get a 200 megapixel main lens on this device right here. I cannot wait. Well, not this device, but the S23 Ultra to come. So I'm really excited to take pictures with that device. We're also going to get a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, a 10 megapixel 3x telephoto lens, and also a 10 megapixel 10 times telephoto lens with, of course, that 100 times super zoom where you can use it to, take pictures of the moon or whatever you want to. And I'm sure even that is going to be improved as well. And, I was really surprised with how good they got it with the S22 Ultra. The quality was actually pretty good and stabilization as well. So I can only expect things to get even better with the cameras on the S23 Ultra. Now, when it comes to video, we are getting 8K video once again at 30 frames per second, and then we're gonna get 4K video with up to 60 frames per second. So of course, you already know I'm gonna be doing tons of video tests here on the channel, full 4K video tests, 8K video tests, 4K video test comparisons. Like I said, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that content. Now, the colors that are going to be coming on this device are black, beige, green, and lavender, or purple, whatever you want to call it. So yes, we are going to be getting 4 colors, and I'm sure we're going to be getting some other special colors because Samsung tends to do that. They'll give their 4 main colors and then other special colors that'll come later on. If you do order it now, you're going to get it later than if you were to order the 4 main colors. But that is pretty much all we know for the Galaxy S23 Ultra for now. There is a leak also saying, and Samsung kind of teased it as well, but we're gonna get some improved night photos and video, and kind of like this nighttime hyperlapse video where you can take a video of starting in the evening when the sun's still up, and then it'll get it when it's going down, and where you'll be able to see all the stars. It'll get it in a quick hyperlapse. So not sure how much battery that's going to use up on this device. Obviously you're gonna have your phone out there recording that whole entire time. So not really sure how that's going to work. Again, that's just a leak. Things can change. Nothing's really official until it's official. You know what I mean? So either way, I'm excited for the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I know there's nothing huge and groundbreaking when it comes, going from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra, but I'm still always excited for something new and to see what Samsung is going to bring with this device right here. Now, do I think it's going to be worth the upgrade from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra? I don't know, maybe not, because the S22 Ultra is already an amazing device. I have no complaints with it at all. It takes care of everything that I needed to take care of. Now, if you want to upgrade to the S23 Ultra, if you're like me and you're into the latest and greatest, no matter how big or small the upgrades are, then hey, do it. But if you don't really care about that stuff, if your S22 Ultra is still running strong and still working for you, honestly, I say keep it. Unless there's a super, super good trade-in deal, which there always is. Samsung always has crazy trade-in deals. But it might not be worth the upgrade for everyone. The S22 Ultra will probably last you the next few years. But if you're coming from something like the S21 Ultra, heck, the S20, the S10, then heck yeah, this is definitely going to be worth the upgrade for you. You're not gonna wanna miss out on this device. But you know, like I said, nothing's for sure until the actual event. So we're just gonna have to wait and see until then. Let's go ahead and check out the next Galaxy S23 and S23 Plus. So looking at both of these devices here, I mean, both the same devices, one's just bigger than the other. Of course, we do get that new camera setup here in the back. You know, back with the Galaxy S22 series, it was the full camera module all connected to each other, kind of, you know, mounting into the edge of the device. Well, now it's their own single lenses, like what we have with the S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. So it's kind of giving that vibe here in the back. Now, of course, the corners are rounded and not squared off like the Ultra series, but you know, most people actually prefer these rounded edges compared to, you know, this candy bar look with the squared edges. So a lot of people might end up even going for one of these devices. So of course the S23 is going to be smaller than the S23 Plus, both looking exactly the same on the sides. Of course, we get the power buttons and the volume rockers going up to the top. We get the microphones around to the left side. Yes, they are coming with SIM card slots as well, so you don't have to worry about eSIM on these devices, although all three devices are going to be eSIM compatible. So if you don't want to have to deal with the SIM card slot, then hey, you do have the option to get eSIM on this as well and transfer your number over that way. Going down to the bottom, of course, we have the charging port USB Type-C on all three of these, and the speakers as well, and microphones as well. Now let's go ahead and talk about the specs, starting with the regular Galaxy S23. So when it comes to the screen size on the S23, we do have a 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display with that 120 Hz refresh rate. So we're still getting that super smooth experience, even on the smaller version here. It is going to be running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. It's going to come with 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB or 256 GB of storage, a 50 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 10 megapixel telephoto lens. Now we are also going to get a 12 megapixel selfie camera on here as well, and a 3,900 milliamp battery. Now, not the biggest battery, but again, this is a smaller device, so that battery might just be right for this phone. Honestly, I wish they would have given it at least maybe a 4,000 milliamp battery, but it is also going to be IP68 water resistant. Android, gonna come with Android 13. And yeah, so that's pretty much the specs for the regular Galaxy S23. If you're looking for something smaller, this might be the one to go with. Now, when it comes to the S23 Plus, again, looking exactly the same, but when it comes to the specs of the S23 Plus, we got a 6.6-inch AMOLED, dynamic AMOLED display with that 120 Hz refresh rate. So again, super smooth experience when scrolling on this device. It's going to come with the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, 8 GB of RAM, 256 GB or 512 GB of internal storage, a 50 megapixel main camera in the back, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto rear camera, and a 12 megapixel front selfie camera with a 4,700 milliamp battery. So the battery on this is actually just a little bit smaller than what we're getting on the Ultra here. And when it comes to size, it also is just a little bit smaller. So that actually might be a pretty good size for this. Honestly, it would have been good to get a 5,000 milliamp battery on this as well, but it's going to be a 4,700 milliamp battery. And then of course, yes, it's going to be IP68 water resistant. So there are your specs for these upcoming devices, the S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra. Like I said, I know the upgrades aren't super huge, nothing groundbreaking or anything like that, but it looks like we are going to have a few good things coming to these devices right here. They're going to be more refined and more tuned up, I guess you would say. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comment sections below. Were you looking into getting the regular S23, S23 Plus, or the S23 Ultra? Like I said, for me, it's going to have to be the S23 Ultra. I cannot wait to get the official device in hand and compare both the S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra to really see if there's any big differences aside from just looking at the leaks and what's on paper. But again, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like I said, if you do want to reserve your pre-order, I'll have a link down in the description or the comment section, so you can go ahead and do that. But thanks for watching. If you did like this video and find it helpful, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other future videos to come. Thanks again for watching. This is Josh Quinones. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.